Good evening, America. Welcome back to another Rants on a Friday night with Break the Machine
Mhm.
podcast with myself and Reddaywalker. We apologize for the delay. This time it was YouTube that fucking sucked ass. I had to literally
Mhm.
destroy the original link and put up a new one right away to get us going on both channels. So I apologize for any delay. Tonight we on around 9 in between 8 9 8:30 9 p.m. Janine will be on the show. Acquafredda, she's running for Brooklyn Borough president as the Republican candidate. She'll be on to talk with us. So right now she's at a cannoli eating contest to raise money. So this is things that they got to do. All right. It's pretty funny. We're probably gonna give her some shit when she comes on about that, uh, which is all good. But for now, you guys got myself and Red Day like you always do. And what's up, Scott? What's going on, man? How was your week this week, brother?
Let's just say I'm glad it's over. It's just been a
I
rough
had
week.
one. I had one of those weeks
Busy.
too, man.
Dude, you know how my day started off?
How?
I got up I got up extra early. Wanted to go for a long walk this morning. Got up, it was raining. I was like, fuck. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna make the best of this. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna get like this. I'm gonna get some coffees. I'm gonna get some donuts. Gonna just be ready to go all day today. I figured I was gonna be on the podcast tonight. And I was gonna, we're gonna be up a little bit later. I was gonna be up a little later than normal. And
Right.
it's Friday, so I'm like, let's be ready to go. I get home. So I'm getting home and it's like 5:30 in the morning. Dark out and everything. And I'm setting up my desk where I'm gonna get ready to sit down and get to start to work. One of the coffees goes flying out of my hands. I don't know
Oh,
why.
that
Because
is
the
the
cap
worst.
the cap was loose and I was thinking I was gonna grab it, and instead of doing that, it like went everywhere. All
Oh
over my
man,
desk.
I bet you pissed you off though, right?
I
Doesn't
was
that
like,
just piss you off?
thank God nothing I thank God nothing really like any like checks that I hadn't cashed yet. None of that got wet.
Right.
It was mostly like my own paperwork that just I hadn't for my own fault for not filing it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was God telling me you don't need to have 2 cups of coffee today. So I was like, okay,
You'd be
I'm just
fine.
having one, and that's all I did. I made it through the day in 1 cup.
Oh,
I'm still
let's see
fine.
what's up. Let's say what's up to everybody really quick, man.
Mhm.
That just sucks, man. I would have been so pissed dropping my coffee because I love coffee,
Mhm.
man. In the especially in
Oh
the
yeah,
morning, man. I gotta have a nice, a good cup of Bustelo in
expensive
the morning.
too. Damn it.
Yeah, it is. What is going on, Rogue Nina? Good to see you. I see Sonia's in the house. I know you can't stay long. I saw you drop in the chat, but it's good to see you. Cowgirl Chas is back. Chastity is back with us. She has
Mhm.
been rolling with us now for a couple of weeks. She's Chastity over on YouTube, and now she's hanging with us on Rumble and whatnot. And it's pretty dope. Jonathan, good to see you. Thanks for getting the alert out. Appreciate it. Again, apologize to everybody, but these things happen. Tonight, YouTube wanted to fuck around with us, and I guess we found out. Right as we hit go live, we found out. And
Always
then
the
it
way.
interrupted the studio. Okay, so like I couldn't get on Rumble either because like the connection just wasn't going through. Uh, but then when we redid it, everything was defined, and we got in with 2 seconds. I hit go live, boom, and we were already just like, oh, okay, we're here. So we are back. Again, Janine will be with us a little bit later. And I know you guys wanted to do a raid on Wednesday. We wanted to raid Devilishly Angelic's show. So tonight we're gonna raid her husband Yankee Free at the end of the show, like we did last time. I'm gonna be on Bourbon and Beer again tonight. They sent me a link. I guess they like me coming to hang with them and stuff like that. They're a bunch of Jersey guys and stuff like that and everything. Pretty cool people. Uh, just when you're there tonight, when I send you guys over, let's return the favor. I stopped in at about, I want to say stopped in at about 7 o'clock when he started, 7:15. Said what's up to him. Told him I'll be on the show later on because he sent me a link. And then I hit him with like a Rumble rant. You guys don't have to do that, but if you guys can, they hit us with a bunch of gifts last time, so we should probably return the favor when we go over there and stuff like that. Just just to be cool about it. Don't have to do a whole bunch of gifts like they did. You don't have to do anything. I'm just
Mhm.
saying it's probably something we should just return the favor as
You need me to
a
make some
courtesy.
gifts?
Yeah, not that kind of. Nah, it's
No.
gifts on Rumble, bro.
Oh, well, I can make some gifts. I love making gifts.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. I'm pretty sure you can.
All fun. Gifs and memes. It's my specialty.
Yeah, not gifts, gifts with a T and a
Hmm.
S. Oh man. You know, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but I actually I know you guys have been paying attention because you guys pay attention to absolutely everything. So one of the things that freaking had me in hysterics was John Bolton getting raided. Bro, I don't want to tell you how hard I laughed and how happy I was to hear
It
that.
begins.
Yeah. Jonathan, thanks for dropping that link, brother. Yes, it begins. So we're gonna listen to John Bolton chirping, okay, when it happened to freaking what's up, Blondie? What's going on when it happened to Trump, right?
Hmm.
Uh Nurse Kerry, Gator RO.
Oh, she's a
Oh,
friend of
Gator
mine.
RNO, Gator
Yep.
RN1, Nurse Kerry's nice to see you. Thanks for joining the chat. Appreciate you. And you're coming from Rumble. We want to keep going on Rumble, guys. Rumble's blowing up for us. Don't forget to like and subscribe, fam. Hit those like buttons as soon as you get on. We need them. It helps the algorithm for our channel, and whatnot. And they've been putting out information out, putting out our videos, which is good. Scott
Hmm.
told me today we had a video in March that had like 700 plus views, and I didn't even know about that. I don't know how I missed that because I regularly check the damn fucking analytics. Like I missed that one big
Hmm.
time.
Hmm.
Uh, down 70. What's up, down 72? I'm gonna be hanging out with you guys over on bourbon and beer after the show. Down was with us on Wednesday night. He enjoyed the show. He's back to hang with us again. We are having a great night. Blondie will be with us next week on Wednesday. She'll be back. Um,
Hmm.
we got a lot going on, right, Scott? I mean, we got a lot of shit going on. We got people coming on left and right. We got the Brooklyn Borough President candidate tonight. I think Monday we got a break. We don't have anybody. That might change. You never know. By the end of the weekend, we might have somebody. You never know, right? We
What's
might
the
have
date?
somebody from Monday.
What's the date on Monday? Oh, that's the
Monday.
25th.
Yes, Monday is the
Yeah.
25th. Yeah, we just
Do we have
never know.
anybody next week?
We have nobody next week.
Okay, so next week we're open,
Yeah.
but
So we got Mondays free. Wednesdays,
but
me and
Sep-
Blondie.
but September is already getting booked up.
Yeah, it is. September's already. We're already starting to bring.
Hmm.
We're going to be bringing
Let's
people
roll
on in
them.
September already.
We got new
We got
people coming on.
yeah, 100%, man. And we got So just so you guys know, there is no show next Friday or Labor Day on Monday. Just we're taking the week off, and just so we can reset, recharge. Anytime we get these long breaks, um, I always make sure that we take the time to just chill. Uh, all right, man. I'll see you over on B&B later on tonight, man, when we're done here, brother. Thanks for stopping by.
Hmm.
Appreciate it. We're gonna raid you guys tonight. So at the end of the what do you call it? At the end of the night, we're gonna raid their channel, because they raided us. So, but yeah, so here we go. We got this is fucking dipshit. Okay. I believe this is him chirping uh back in the day. Yeah, this was he was very enthusiastic
Any
about
given
this.
moment. But I don't think he cared
Hang
any
on.
given moment. But I don't think he cared about the classification system. I don't think he appreciated the sensitivity of this information, and he didn't appreciate the sensitivity of how it was often acquired, the so-called sources and methods. So this had been briefed to him before I arrived. It was repeated frequently. I think it simply had no impact on him whatever.
There's a couple of different ways that people think about this, and people who are not friendly to the president who think about what's happened here. And one of them is, Donald Trump, master thief, criminal, running some kind of elaborate conspiracy to bring things out of the White House and keep them secret for potentially for political or financial gain. There are other people who his attitude is Trump is chaotic. He's careless. He's not that smart. He took these things almost by mistake, and now he's basically stamping his feet and saying they're mine. I don't want to give them up. Give me a sense of where you think the truth lies with respect to Trump's intelligence, carelessness, and the degree to which he might have brought motive to bear on taking these documents out of the White House and keeping them for this long at Mar-a-Lago.
Well, it's very hard to speculate on motive other than that he liked cool things. He saw things that so he wanted to take them, and he was pretty much able to take them, and not just on classified information matters, on all kinds of things that crossed his desk. Some days he liked to eat a lot of French fries. Some days he took classified documents. He wanted them. Why did he want them? Because he could get them.
Right. And
Yeah.
They
He
really-
thought he's a. He thought he was cool, bro.
They really believed in their heart of hearts that he wasn't going to be back in the White House.
They did. They really, truly,
It's so
honestly
fucking
did.
stupid. And how dare somebody on MSNBC saying, there are people out there who are just not friendly to Trump. Dude, it's like your whole fucking network is not friendly to Trump, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? You guys wake up. You guys freaking have Trump like drooling out of your mouths.
It's just so true. Their whole network, bro,
Yeah,
hated Trump and whatnot.
name one
The hell
moderate
outta
on their
here.
network. Name one moderate. And now guess
yeah.
what? You know what's funny? Trump outlasted them because MSNBC is no more.
Yep. And this was today, guys.
These raids, the New York Post is reporting that they busted into his home in Bethesda, Maryland. Would that in a raid
Fucking
normally?
love
Do
it.
they have
Cases, man.
how do they get in the house? Would they ring the doorbell first and Bolton would come to the door?
Correct. Yeah, that's usually what it is. I mean, they would ring the doorbell. I mean, that's the proper way that agents usually handle these situations. There's usually kind of a de-escalation of these things before tensions rise. And sometimes if they need to, they need to bust through the door. I've not confirmed that independently that they busted through the door. I'm not sure if it was any sort of ramrod or anything like that, so I don't want to get ahead of it. But that is possible. Yes, they will if they feel that they have probable cause to get inside and need to get inside. I will note we've not heard from Ambassador Bolton yet. I'm sure we will through his attorney or possibly himself. So it's something we're going to watch and see what he has to say. But as of now, this is still going on, 42 minutes or about 45 minutes or so into this on a Friday morning. Busy news cycle here in Washington.
Forever, actually. Yeah, you get to keep it. You get to keep that title forever. Once you hold a position in the government like that, you get to keep that forever. Yeah, they banged it. It's so good to hear that they smashed this fucking door in, right? Like he was one of the.
Did you see my story? Did you see my story from Roger Stone? Roger Stone.
Oh,
Roger Stone torched him on X today. He's just like, dude, how does it feel? He's like at 2 a.m. Hey, by the way, where was CNN? Because CNN was there when they fucking knocked on either Trump or his. No, I think even Roger Stone got it. But even Roger Stone got raided too.
Yeah, they did Roger Stone like that too, and I think CNN was there. I think CNN was there waiting with them. They alerted the press to come fucking check it out.
They did Roger dirty. I mean, I'm not even a big Roger fan, but it's just funny as hell. I was like, Roger gets
but you know what
now.
though? Bro, Roger fucking stood his ground, man, and he basically told the government to go fuck themselves. He was like, all right, I guess I'm gonna go do some time. He's like, he told the government to go fuck themselves.
He did.
Peter Navarro did too, and so did Steve Bannon. They told the government go fuck yourselves. Now, Steve Bannon was the shit with the Congress, right? Was not is that what they got him for contempt of Congress or some shit like that?
I'll be honest, I really can't remember what Steve Bannon did.
But regardless, he was like, "Fuck you guys." Man. That's the way it gotta be, man.
Yeah, it's so funny, dude. We went through 4 years of crossing the line, and and unsetting precedent that it hadn't been done before. And guess what? Now it's all been done. It's all been done. There should be no surprises at all. It's simply, oh, you guys said this was okay? Fine. Nope. In fact, I hope Trump did that deliberately. Like they literally took his security clearance away, I think a week ago.
Yeah.
And they removed his security detail.
Yes.
That's what he needs to do with these people. I mean, he needs to literally take them out and then like the next day say, okay, you lost your stuff yesterday.
Yep.
You can't have any documents in your house anymore.
Yep.
That'd be freaking hilarious. He starts getting on them one at a time.
Yeah, you just gotta, you gotta just hem them up the way they listen. The lawfare, they don't stop doing the bullshit until it gets done to them. right? Like, and you got to do it. You got to do it the same way, and you got to do it like, obviously, we talked about this about, hey, make sure the ducks are lined up, okay? And once you get the ducks in a row, all right, just actually absolutely hammer them, because that's the only thing they get, right? Like, they don't get anything else. Then, oh shit, now they're doing it to us, right? Like, oh, this is how that shoe fits, I guess. I'm wearing the shoe because it fits now. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was great to see, man. It was absolutely epic.
And I was telling people last week when they were just like, because people keep harping on, well, when are they going to do this? When are they going to do that?
Yeah.
When's this person getting arrested? When are they going for? When are they going to make arrest Obama? When are they going to arrest this person? Like really big names.
Right.
And I'm like, and I told several people this. It's like, it's just like in Training Day, and it's like, this ain't motherfucking checkers, man. This is chess.
Right.
We're not.
Yeah.
You don't go for the king right away. You work.
Correct.
First, you're knocking out the pawns. That's why they're taking down these mayors one at a time. These city council members who are cheating. These election people who are cheating. They're getting all the fucking illegals out of the way because they're fucking pawns. The illegals are like less than pawns. After they get all these pawns out of the way, now they're starting to go after someone like a fucking Bolton.
Yeah,
that's the first step up. Bolton is a bishop.
Yeah, he's definitely a bishop.
And
they're
then we're going
knocking
to
out
start going
not
after
only the
the
pawns,
next.
they're knocking out the knights too. The knights are getting it too, right? Because they're there for protection as well. They're getting it as well. And speaking of cheating, did you hear about what happened in Minneapolis with fucking the Somali cheat up there? The Democratic Party dropped his ass because of it was irregularities. They called it irregularities, cheating. They were cheating up there in Minnesota. The
Oh,
Somali dude.
I thought the story today was that they still endorsed him. Thought that didn't happen?
I thought they took their endorsement away. That was the last thing I saw. Jonathan, did they take the endorsement away for good? Let's let's fucking research it. Why not? Right, while we're on air. Because I could have sworn they they took their endorsement away from him.
I saw a headline that spoke to that this afternoon.
Yeah.
That they literally, because the whole point was that they endorsed him, and then still in the headline it said, even though he was found to be cheating. They still endorsed him.
I thought they took his endorsement away. Yeah, Jonathan, if you find that, bro, let us know. I could have sworn they took his. You know what? Let me look at the post. They usually have shit. Bring up the post if we need to.
Absolutely. Yeah, because I think that other guy, was it the mayor of Minneapolis that was running for the seat? Is this guy running for mayor of Minneapolis, or is he running for a Senate position? I don't even remember.
No,
he's running for the mayor, right?
Yeah, he's running for mayor in Minneapolis. Yeah.
Yeah. So the current mayor didn't even get the endorsement.
Correct. They got it. Yeah, they went to. Yeah, they went to the Somali dude, and then I believe they took I think they called it DFL or some shit like that. They took the endorsement away. That's what I thought. I'm trying to find it. That's what I thought I read, was that they took the endorsement after they found irregularities, essentially cheating.
Dude, that just goes to show you the Democrat Party. Dude, I you know what? I don't know anything about the fucking mayor of Minneapolis except one thing. He has fucking done their bidding. For them. He has put himself out in the worst situations. He's gone out in the middle of Antifa rallies. He's had fucking food thrown at him. He's had, he's gotten practically beaten up. I think he's had his condo like kind of defaced or whatever where he lived. And he's just like supported some of the worst policies, the worst progressive policies. Yeah,
he's been a cuck for them.
Cuck. And what does he get for that? For them to come on and be like, "Yep, we're pushing this other dude now because he's even worse than you."
Yeah, we're gonna push the Intifada guy, because Minneapolis is essentially Somalia now and everything. Like, well, the state, it's not this whole state. Let's just be fair, okay? Outside of Minneapolis, to my knowledge, and I was there recently in Minnesota. Okay, last year. So last year? No, 2 years ago, actually, almost 2 years ago. Was it? Fuck, when was it? Yeah, 2 years ago. And I can tell you, just the Somali presence is very deep, and they even changed their flag to make it look like the Somali flag, right? Like they got rid of an American flag, essentially, an American state flag, to represent, to make it look like the Somali flag. I mean, that ought to tell
Yep.
you everything on where they're headed in
You know
Minnesota.
what? Actually had to I had to look for a couple of contractors up there in Minnesota like this past week, and I
Oh, no
hadn't done
shit.
any business up in Minnesota. It was right out. I think it was right outside of St. Paul,
Okay.
and I was looking, and I don't remember seeing so many names I could not pronounce. Everybody, like I ended up
Yeah, it's
hiring
deep.
I ended up hiring some Spanish guy, mostly because I at least could pronounce his name. It was like some Henriquez guy, and I was just like, I gotta go with him because I don't know. Like I don't even know how to pronounce these other names.
Yeah.
They were so foreign to me. It's just like, wow. I was like, that's what Minneapolis St. Paul has turned into.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's
I
bad.
couldn't even I couldn't even find a straight up brother. I couldn't. I was looking.
Uh, oh man, what now? Is it a contract you had that you're being forced to freaking hire? What do you call it?
No,
Minorities or
no, just looking for
y-
contractors who
okay,
were like in the area where I needed them to do some work for me.
right,
And I mean, I go onto some nationwide databases to look up people, and
right.
it's in a radius. I'm just like, what the heck are all these names? Like, it wasn't like that a couple years ago. It's crazy.
Yeah, man.
It
They
was just like a mix. You go anywhere, you go to New York, New York City. It's a mix of everybody. You see every nationality there. People
right,
speaking all the different languages. You go to Philadelphia, it's like that. Everybody.
yeah,
Big cities, LA, everybody.
right.
But like this, it was for this particular city. I was like, holy shit! I hardly do any business up there. I was like, I did not even. I've seen names there that first and last names. I never saw them before. I was like, holy mother!
Yeah,
Like that's what Minneapolis has
it's
turned into.
yeah, man. And when I went up there, like I said, it's pretty crazy actually. Uh, it's pretty nuts. Um, it's a beautiful little city too, man. It's not an ugly city. That's the sad thing about it. It was the same thing when I went to Denver. Very pretty city, but it was just like drug infested. It was insane. It was sad to
Hmm.
see, actually. It was really sad to see.
Um,
Damn, I can't believe I can't find any. What the hell?
maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't true. Maybe it was. I mean, that's man. Can I just say one thing? Um, I'm just gonna get up my soapbox for a second.
Go ahead, go for it.
Everybody out there, you got to be careful what you share. I see people sharing tweets. I see people sharing memes of information. Memes are not sources. Whether it's positive, sometimes it's positive news, like think something you would think is positive. Sometimes it's something negative, but it's
Right,
like a freaking meme. I'm like, dude, if you're gonna share a meme, freaking just take the 60 seconds and just verify. Google is
right,
free. Just
right.
if it sounds like it sounds too good to be true, it's probably not. You know,
Yeah,
you know, like I'm trying to think of an example. So I see shit, and they're just like I look at it, and I question it, and for the people that I follow and follow me, they know that if I get in their stories and things like that, I'm typing out my questions, saying, "Are you sure about this?" You like they mean, "You sure about that? You sure about
right,
that?" Like I don't believe it. And if I go look it up, I'm just like, oh, come on, man.
right.
Like it says Obama. Like I see people post sometimes ridiculous stuff like Obama got arrested. Obama got arrested. I'm like, how come no news? How come
Yeah.
no news sources are running
Are
with
you
it?
crazy?
Nobody. Fox
Even
News would
the
be first
Marxist.
page.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
Fox News,
even the
Newsmax, even yep,
CNN. If it's really bad news for Trump, CNN would be running with it. MSNBC would be running with it.
yeah,
MSNBC, ABC, they'd all be running with it. Even if it was the worst news for Trump in the world,
yeah.
they would be running with it. If they're not
Correct.
even peeping about it for like 24 hours, really,
Yeah,
it
it's true.
probably didn't happen.
Yeah,
And just the
it's totally
opposite too.
true.
Sometimes they'll be like, "Oh my God, it could be something great." And even if it's great for us, the news will be talking about how bad it is.
Right. Yeah,
They'll have a completely perverse
yeah,
take on it, but they'll be
correct.
talking about it.
But
They
they'll be
won't
talking
ignore it.
about it. Yeah, they wouldn't ignore that. Even
You
MSNBC and
got to be
CNN would.
careful.
Yeah, Scoob, what is going on, brother? Jonathan, I'm talking about we were talking about the mini. I think it's the Minneapolis mayor. What do you call it? The Democrat mayor. The Democrat
Yeah,
Party
Fatah,
there didn't.
Fatah or Fateh.
Yeah, they didn't endorse the incumbent, okay, mayor who's a Democrat. They endorsed the Somali Intifada, Fatwa, whatever the hell his name is. Okay, they endorsed him, and then I think they took their endorsement away today, all right, because they found some irregularities and stuff like that. Essentially, AKA cheating. And I was trying to find it because I mean, it was blasted all over, everywhere, and stuff like that. But again, my day was been crazy all day today.
Well, you know what? I'm looking. I'm looking at all the things. Although,
I'm
wait.
trying to.
First, yesterday, a day ago, it said that Minnesota Democrats revoked the endorsement of the Democratic
Okay.
Socialist, the guy. But
Okay.
today,
They gave it back.
it says they vacated. It says today that Democrats vacated the endorsement of the Democratic Socialist mayor. Is that wait, the same one? Are they
It's the
talking about the
same
same?
thing.
Because
Yeah.
they have the current mayor's picture in there, so it's confusing.
Yeah. No. The Democratic
Oh, okay.
Socialist is the Somali dude.
So the DFL, the Democratic Farmer Labor Party. I don't know what the hell this is. Was this
I don't
U.S.
know, man.
anymore?
It
They've
sounds like a
overturned.
European fucking or Canadian
It
party. I
sounds
don't know.
African. No, it sounds
It
like
probably
African. Like
is.
in all the video games I play where you're like fighting in Africa and you're like going up against insurgents, there's always
Yo,
like an
you took it.
AFL,
You
a
straight
D.
up took it to Call of Duty, man.
Yeah. There's like I play Far Cry. There's always an AFL or a D. There's always a freedom labor,
Yes.
freedom
Y-
fighters, freedom labor.
Yeah.
There's always a
There's
group like that. That's what it sounds
there's
like.
always something.
DFL.
There's always a group with a FL in it. We
Mm-hmm.
don't. The whatever the first
Yep.
letter is. Hang on. He sent it. It's in the Rumble chat. So let me pull that up.
Says it.
Here we
Yeah.
go. Yeah. It says Democratic Party of Minnesota revokes endorsement. Yep. Yeah. Again,
Okay. But
it's because
I don't
of
think that's
the
really going to
cheating
matter,
issue.
to be honest. But I don't think
Yeah,
that's going to
I don't
matter.
think so either. He can run as an independent, probably win anyway. That's the reality of it.
Well, just because they don't give them their endorsement, that doesn't mean he's not running as a Democrat.
Yeah. He can still run as a Democrat.
Yeah, he's still running
Yeah.
as a Democrat. All you gotta do is win the primary, and then they gotta endorse him.
Yeah. Then they have no choice. The Democratic Football League. will have to- the donkey. It's the Donkey Football League. That's what DFL stands for, guys. The
DFL,
Donkey Football League.
the DFL.
The Donkey
I'm telling you,
Football League.
man. I remember there was in that one game I played. I think it was Far Cry 2. There's an AFL and there's an AFO.
Far Cry
There's
games
always
were
like
good.
I still play them all the
Yeah.
time. But like the one in Africa, I always loved the one in Africa because it was just so like it had such a mood to it.
Yeah.
It was different from all the other ones.
The Far Cry
But yeah,
games are pretty dope.
there's all different like coalitions you got to like fight against and with, and
Yeah.
there's always those. They all got those 3-letter abbreviations. It's like Jesus Christ, the
Did
NPR.
did you have to fight the Donkey Football League?
No, not the D. They don't. I don't know if they had a DFL, but they definitely had an AFL. They definitely had an APR. There's always a People's Revolution or People's
There's some
Liberation.
people.
People's Liberation Army, PLA, or something like that.
Yeah, it's true.
It's
They
everything.
always add them
Everything's always
fucking names.
Democratic. Yeah, Democratic Liberation Army or something like that. DLA.
Yeah.
They always had those.
Nothing democratic about the way they do things, by the way.
No,
Nothing.
absolutely
They
not.
always they either call and though the best is when they call themselves the Republic of something. Nothing Republican in nature, and I don't mean like party, just like just Republican nature. Nothing that they do.
Isn't
It's
that what
absolutely insane.
Isn't that what the Congo calls themselves?
Yeah,
Don't
the
they call
Republic of
themselves the
Congos.
No,
I
don't they
think they
call
do.
themselves the Democratic Republic of Congo?
Bro, I haven't checked into Africa in a very long time. Jonathan,
I
what
swear,
does the
I think
Congo call themselves nowadays, bro?
isn't it the
Is it the
DRO? Isn't that the DROC?
something like that? The Democratic Republic of
The
Congo.
Democratic Republic. I swear, I think that's what they're
Hey,
called.
let's see.
We get into Africa tonight, man. We're
Yes,
just
it
gonna do
is.
Africa
It is the
politics.
Democratic Republic. It is the Democratic
True.
Republic of Congo. Good job. Good job. Yep. Jonathan, he's like Democratic Republic of Congo.
The only reason I remember that is because that's how they refer to it on like CNN. They'll call it like the DRC or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
Or that's
man.
the abbreviation of their airport or something like that, if they have an airport.
What about North Korea? The Democratic People's Republic of Korea. That's North Korea.
If that's not confusing as fuck, I don't know.
I don't know.
Democratic Republic.
There's nothing democratic that goes on in that nation with any kind of republic linked to it.
No. See, that's what the Democrats want the U.S. to be. They want it to be like some democratic republic.
Yeah. Well, yeah, in name only, right? Like Democratic Republic in name only. It sounds good, the Democratic Republic, right? But we all know that everybody who names their country Democratic Republic of something, they got some sort of what do you call it? Despot who's running the country and absolutely obliterating his own people and whatnot. Yeah. It's crushing them to death.
They think they put Democrat in front of anything, and they think it sounds better. Like this is like your Democratic. This is Democratic oatmeal for breakfast.
The Democratic Quaker Oats of America.
They would. DQOA.
So true. They had Democrat in front of it. I think it sounds better.
Say, is Dairy Queen coming back? No, it's the Democratic Quaker Oats.
But they wouldn't leave the Quaker on there. They would take the Quaker off.
That's true. They would take the Quaker off.
They would take the Quaker off.
They'd make him black and gay.
Yeah, they definitely would.
Yeah.
Or he'd be a transvestite Quaker or some shit like that.
He'd just be a quacker.
A quacker. A flaming quacker. Oh man.
Oh, it's so moist.
It's moist.
Have your moist oats with us.
I got your moist oatmeal here from the flaming quacker. Flaming Quaker Oats.
That's what they do. You know how the Quaker Oats guy has all that white hair?
Yeah.
They just turn it into like flames.
In rainbow color.
Yep. Yeah, like he'd look like one of those troll dolls.
Love troll. Oh man, you're making me laugh, man. My freaking glasses are fogging up. Holy crap, man. You can't. The thing is, you can't make this shit up, man, because this is the type of crazy stuff that they do. It's absolutely ridiculous, man.
Look, we lost Cracker Barrel this week.
Bro, don't even get me started, man. Yo, you know it's bad. You know it's bad when like their lesbian CEO freaking just completely, what do you call it, homified it, okay? And even blacks are like, yo, we want Barrel back.
Yeah.
Can we get black? Can we get Cracker Barrel back, please?
Their stock
leave the man on the barrel
today too. Did you see that? Their stock tanked. That's how much the logo meant. People literally gave up their stock just because they got rid of the logo.
Correct.
That's pretty crazy.
It's absolutely batshit crazy. Well, when you hire a woke lesbian freaking CEO, right, who went on record saying that she wanted to change the brand and that the it doesn't mean anything anymore, right? And she went on and changed it, and people didn't like it. And in the end, the end users were like, "You can go scratch, take it, cram it right up your freaking LGBTQY XYZ ass, okay? And here's your sign, all right? And next thing you know, that they're freaking stock tank today."
Yep.
Yeah. Speaking of freaking tanking, did you? Oh, go ahead. Good.
No.
I'll get into the next thing. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't remember them tanking as much before.
No.
They're tanking now.
Yeah, it's bad.
like 4 or 5 years ago when they took like Uncle Ben's like off the rice or whatever. Like I don't remember the rice. I don't remember Uncle Ben's like tanking.
Right.
But now it seems like they're people are like fed up with the bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's the sign of the times.
Yeah, people are tired of it, man. It's just like it's insane, the bullshit, man. They're just like they don't want to freaking they just don't want to put any effort into anything, man. It's
Nope.
ridiculous. It's stupid, man. They're just dumb. You know, and what about freaking Disney, right? Did you see the articles going on about Disney? Did you see any of them?
Probably not. I think I missed that.
Okay, so Disney, I was trying to find an article and I couldn't find one quick enough, but before I got into it, so Disney is now trying to lure, okay, Gen Z men back and boys, okay, back to Disney. They had two major IPs, okay, two major IPs that were 90% male, okay, and they freaking wokeified it, okay, feminized it, and homofied it, okay, and then they wonder why. They told 3 generations of fans, bro, not even just the Gen Zs. 3 generations of fans, Gen X, millennials, and Gen Zs. Actually, even more than that. They fucking offended boomers too. All right. They 3 generations of fans they told to go scratch and to go fuck off. Okay. And
Yeah.
now because they lost billions of dollars, they're trying to find a way to bring Gen X boys back, okay, and to make it more masculine and shit. They can't do it.
They can't.
lost everybody. They lost everybody, man.
They can't. I mean, every project that they put out is like they. I mean, who are they trying to win? I don't even understand who they're trying to win back with any of the projects they put out.
It's stupid. It's dumb. They continue to shoot themselves in the foot, right? Like, you know, they went and they took the Marvel universe, turned it into the MCU, okay, and it absolutely tanked. And I'm gonna give props to one person out of that whole MCU, and I can't remember her name. The little the actress that was playing Ms. Marvel, young teenage girl, and stuff like that. She was playing the character Ms. Marvel, who happens to be a Muslim. Okay, and I think the character's Palestinian. If I'm wrong, fucking chat, you can blow me up. I don't care. But if anything, nobody really read that comic. So they got this poor girl, okay, who actually is a pretty good actress. When you saw her playing the role, the little bit that I watched, because I tried to watch and I couldn't because it was just stupid. All right. She was really playing her role. She played her role perfectly as a teenager because the character was supposed to be a teenager. Okay.
Which movie?
They gave her shit writing. All right. And I was like, I don't blame her or any of the actors really, except for fucking Brie Larson, who's just king. She just absolutely sucks in my opinion.
You know what? Don't. The actors know what they're getting into. Trust me. The actors can turn down shit if they don't want to do it.
That is true. But what I'm saying is like the little girl who was playing Ms. Marvel, the teenage girl, she was playing a teenager and she actually played her role the way she was supposed to. But the writing was shit. So like she catches a lot of shit, unfortunately, okay, for acting, which isn't her fault because the writing was absolutely terrible. Right? Think about it. She's a little Muslim girl. She's like, oh my God, I got this role. I'm going to play a Muslim superhero. Any kid would freaking jump on that. Right? But Brie Larson and the rest of them, absolute dog shit. Okay, and you know, not a fan of Brie Larson anyway, other than her calcium cannons. But you know, it's just
I don't even know what that
it
is.
was just think about it, what calcium cannons are, brother. Just put some thought, put some man thought into that, man.
Bony ass?
No, calcium cannons.
Nope.
I'll let you just think about that. Just think about it and you know, but anyway, the writing has been dog shit over at Disney. They absolutely ruined the Marvel universe with something great that they had, right? Like Endgame was like the end for them. Okay, everything after that was shit.
That was the end, yeah.
Yeah, it was literally the end. Okay, they absolutely destroyed it. With Star Wars, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, man. They had
they killed Star Wars.
They absolutely destroyed Star Wars. Okay, they had, and I knew it was dead in 2014. I was first. I was excited. I'm not gonna lie. I was excited. I was like, oh shit, the animation we're about to get from Disney with all these stories that have been gone on for 20 plus years. Okay, I was like, it's gonna be insane. We're gonna have animation forever with this stuff. This is gonna be great. Some of the stories in the expanded universe. Okay, I read a lot of those books. All right, and it was just like, and then Darth Kennedy, freaking, what do you call it? Kathleen Palpatine comes out, and she's like, the expanded universe doesn't exist. We're gonna call it Legends. And I was like, ooh, they're in trouble. And what if they had to do every time something is anytime they botch something with Star Wars, they had to dip into the expanded universe and bring it back in some form, okay, just to try to get people to come back because those stories were so good by some of those authors, and they had the perfect setup, okay, with the last set of books that I read in 2014 before Disney took over, called the Fate of the Jedi, and it was like a series of 10 short books. Okay, well, a few of them were long. All right, but it had a
Right.
fantastic story in those 10 books that followed one right after the other. Okay, that they could have easily started with. The animation would have been through the roof. Okay, well, the animation
Mm-hmm.
now is kind of shitty right now. They could have done a lot with it. But again,
Yeah.
they told 3 generations of fans, 90% of them men, to go fuck themselves. That's what they did. And now they're trying to bring us back.
Well, I don't know. I don't even know what they're trying to bring back from. I mean, I'm so out of it at this point. Like the the Force Awakens. I remember the Force Awakens, and it was okay.
It
I was
wasn't
really
bad. It
hyped.
was not
I
bad.
was hyped. I was hyped for it, but in the end, it was okay.
Right. It wasn't bad.
Just
It
okay. It
wasn't
was
bad.
okay.
It was
No,
okay. You're right. It
wasn't
was
bad.
okay.
But then the second one after that,
The
was
Last
it the
Jedi was
Rise of
terrible.
the Last
The Last
Jedi?
Jedi. It was
That was
terrible.
the first movie that I can remember in a very long time, probably almost 15 years, that I was wanting to walk out of it. Like I
Yeah.
was just it was so dumb.
It was very stupid.
It was so dumb. So I didn't even go see The Rise of Skywalker. I didn't even
I
go.
don't blame
I
you.
don't care because I don't care.
Yeah, I went to go see it because, like, my cousin, who's a big Star Wars fan, she was trying desperately. Okay, she got tickets, so we went, and she bought the tickets, so like we weren't gonna diss her on that. She wanted to take us because we introduced her to Lucas Star Wars. Okay, I will forever be a
Right.
Lucas Star Wars fan. That is the real Star Wars to me. There is nothing new. Okay, that you can bring in and tell me that a Star Wars, Disney Star Wars is complete shit. You will never get me to like
Yeah.
any of it. Although I did like the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, I was okay with that. All right, but
I
after
didn't
that,
watch.
the third season wasn't that great. Um, and then they absolutely destroyed Ahsoka, who turned into a fan favorite from the cartoons, the Clone Wars. Okay, they ruined that series, and I know they got a season 2. I didn't even give it a shot. Uh, I definitely didn't watch the one with the lesbian witches, the Acolyte. I call it the Acolyte. It was called the Acolyte. I didn't even watch that. All right, because that just was even worse. And
No.
then I did watch Andor. I didn't watch season 2. Everybody keeps telling me you got to watch season 2. It's better than season 1. And these were diehard Star Wars fans. Were like, oh, they brought it back a little bit. With see Jonathan, did you see season 2 of Andor? I have not. So I couldn't really tell you. But bro, they absolutely destroyed it, bro. They killed it. They killed our childhood.
I don't even care. I don't even care about the new stuff. That's what an old fogey I am. I just don't even care. Like when they
No,
say like there's a new season of this, I don't care.
bro.
I don't have Disney Network. I'm not going to get Disney Network.
Right.
Like, I watch. I'm pissed off because I'm pissed off because I actually watch wrestling, and as of before the end of this year, everything's going to be like on ESPN and the Disney Network, and I
Huh.
don't care. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I literally am just like, I'm not watching wrestling anymore.
I guess
I
I can't
refuse
watch
to pay.
wrestling anymore.
I refuse to pay for Disney. Nope,
Right.
I will not. I will not give them $1 of my money. And I live in Florida. I could go to their park at a discount. I've been
Right.
offered tickets to go, free ticket. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I do not care. They have burned my childhood or whatever you want to call. I mean, I will enjoy the older films and things like that, and I will enjoy the old Star Wars stuff. In fact, I was one that never really hated that middle trilogy. The prequels.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never
Yeah. Yeah.
hated them. My people shat on them for years, and I'm just like, are they really that bad? Now everybody thinks they're actually pretty good considering the crap they put out now.
Right, compared to the shit that they got now. I like them. I
Yeah,
enjoyed them.
I
But
always
see,
liked them. I was like, that was so cool. And
see,
that's fine. I'm
Scott,
fine with that. I don't need to watch anything new for the rest of my life, to be honest.
I
I
agree with
don't.
you, man. No, I'm with you, bro. It's funny because I go back and I watch old stuff. But you know, I enjoyed the prequels because I read a lot of the expanded universe. When I was in the
Mhm.
military, my mom used to send me books all the time and I used to read them. Okay, and then when I came out, I would read some of the books too. So like there was always these great books in the expanded universe, these great stories. Not even
Yeah.
not everything was even force related. They had books on freaking bounty hunters. They had the
hmm
Rogue Squadron was everything from espionage to you name it. Okay, it wasn't just all fighting and what do you call it? Dog fighting in space and stuff like that. It was the expanding universe was
Yeah.
absolutely incredible. They had these fantastic authors
Yep.
and they took all of that, okay, and they just fucking airballed it, or they didn't even hit a net. They chucked it, okay. They missed the garbage can, all right, and then just like rolled off. And what do they do? Every time something's not working, they go back and they take a character that was loved from the expanded universe and bring them back so that they can try to get people to come back. Because again,
Yeah.
they told 3 generations to go
They
fuck
can't,
ourselves. That's what they did.
and
And 90%
it'll
of us were
never
men.
work.
It's not going to happen at this point. They've absolutely destroyed. I will tell you what will happen. Well, if I see Gina Carano back because she won her suit, okay,
She
and
did.
she freaking and she's
Saw that.
but you know what though? When I covered Gina Carano like last year, I had mentioned she wasn't even trying to take them to the cleaners like she could have, right? Think about it. Those emails she had were so bad that Disney was like, "We're just gonna settle. We just gotta settle because we
hmm
don't want that to get out to the public."
Sure.
Okay. And she was like, "All right, we'll settle." And she settled. She's gonna get her job back. They want to bring her back to Star. They have to bring her back to Star Wars, bro. That was the beginning of the end. It was already. Oh, wait a minute. We got Janine in the house. She popped in. It's okay. You're not early. It's
No,
good. It's
yeah,
like we
really.
started today.
It's at
You're
9.
just on time. We're gonna bring you in 2 seconds. All right, fam. We have Janine Acquafredda, who is the Brooklyn Borough, okay, president candidate, and she's on our side. She's a patriot, and we're glad to have her. She was hanging out, all right, with peoples tonight, campaigning on the stump, eating cannolis tonight. So, how did that cannoli eating contest go?
Correction, I was being fed cannolis.
Oh,
Oh boy.
okay. Oh boy. Oh
It's a
boy.
story.
Well, we want to hear it. We definitely want to hear what that story is.
Yeah,
How,
actually, it's so funny because I had um, I had somebody videotaping, and let's just say they didn't get everything.
oh
It would have
God.
been it was comical, but unfortunately, I guess they kept tapping the record button, so it just got little snippets. But it was
Yeah.
fun. It was
Well, as
actually
long
my
as you had
very
a good
first
time.
cannoli.
Your very first cannoli. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm
No.
not
No
an
way.
Italian pastry girl. I'm a sweets
Really?
girl.
Oh,
Like I don't have a sweet tooth. I have sweet teeth.
all right.
So I do love my junk, but I'm not a pastry girl. Never
Huh.
was.
I love cannolis. My mom gets me cannoli cake for my. Well, she used to. Now that we're not in New York anymore, so she used to get me cannoli cake for my birthday, and absolutely from an Italian what do you call it, bakery, and it was absolutely the best.
From where? Which bakery?
Well, this was up in Rockland, actually. There was
Oh,
a
Rockland
bakery.
County?
Yeah, there's an Italian bakery. Well, I mean, so I grew up in Brooklyn, Sunset Park, to about the age of
Oh,
13, and then we left the city and we went up to Rockland County. My biological mom, I was living with her. She was ill and stuff like that. She passed when I was 14, and I think she knew she was sick, so she had me go live with my dad and my stepmom, who I call mom. I've known her since I was 2. She's been like my mother. Uh, if you tell her I'm not her son, you'll be in a fist fight with her. But
no.
that's kind of person she is. But like she's the one who used to get me cannoli cake from a bakery called Joseph's up in Rockland County. I don't even know if they still exist anymore. And it
Hmm.
was absolutely fantastic because Rockland County is essentially an extension of the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island.
It's not
Everybody
far.
had moved up there, huh?
It's
hmm
not far.
It's not. It's not at all. So cannolis. Let's get into it, Janine.
Let's
You're
get
running
into
for Brook.
it.
You're in a tough borough, okay, against an opponent
What do
that
you mean? What's tough
it's just
about it?
It's tough. It's Brooklyn. Brooklyn is tough. It's a tough borough. You know, it's got cojones. So, um, I think you can beat your candidate because of what you bring. So let everybody know who you are, where you're from, and then we'll get into the politics.
Well, I think you introduced me, Janine Acquafredda, obviously running for Brooklyn Borough President. I'm the endorsed candidate of the Conservative and Republican parties, and I am not a politician. I'm a small businesswoman. I specialize in real estate. So I've been a realtor for almost 20 years. I also own and operate vacation rentals. And I jumped into the race officially late April of this year because I was just fed up with the way things are going.
Yeah, the city is city is the city. You know, we've had
Well,
quite a few.
the city is um not the city. The city is, you know, a shadow of what the city used to be. It
Correct.
really isn't the city. In fact, as you mentioned, I was being fed cannolis at the 18th Avenue Feast, and it just didn't even feel like the 18th Avenue Feast. Why?
Mm,
Because so many people have left. So many OGs have
Wow.
left.
right.
And so the neighborhoods are changing, and we're losing our culture, and we're losing our character, and we're losing our neighborhoods and our communities.
Well, you know, it's funny because we've had quite a few. We have friends in New York City who are fighting the fight, just
Mm.
like you. And they've been on the show quite a bit. And I remember when that change happened, like in particular with the Republican Party. George Pataki, he didn't do anything for Republicans in the state of New York. I was a
Mm.
young Republican at the time in New York. And so I got to see it all at that time in the 1990s, early 2000s. Um, and it was an absolute disaster. He didn't do anything. Giuliani, of course, did what he could. He did such a good job that Bloomberg didn't even change anything. Okay, when it came to policy and stuff like that, policing and safety and whatnot. And then De Blasio came in and absolutely destroyed that, tanked it. Now we got Eric Adams, who's the nightlife mayor. So I can understand that change has been probably catastrophic when you think about it, right? Because the neighborhoods change all the time. That is a history of New York City. Like one people come in, another people come behind them and stuff like that, and that might turn into that people that came behind them. But it's okay. There's always culture and whatnot. And I'm with you. The last time I was in New York City, I didn't see that anywhere. And I had went to all five boroughs and was like, oh my God, it's just not the same.
Change is inevitable. Nothing stays the
Correct.
same. But the rapid pace at which the change is happening since De Blasio has negatively impacted this city. It's
Mm.
not about change. Change is going to happen. Nothing stays the same. It's about the pace, the rate at which we're changing and how we're changing. You could
Right.
have good change. When Giuliani became mayor, it was a good change.
Right.
And then, of course, as you mentioned, Bloomberg just kind of, you know, coasted on
Told the
Giuliani's
line.
coattails. But De Blasio was the turning point, and that's when we began to go downhill. And it has not gotten better since him. And we are at the point where this mayoral race, I really do believe it's like sink or swim for this city.
We've been saying that. We've actually, we've been talking to our friends, like I said, in New York City. I'm sure you probably know a lot of them. I don't know. I think you told me you were going on Cafecito break at some point, the Perez
I
sisters.
am. I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
we're good friends with them and Cozy Wellness and all of them. We're really good friends with that group and stuff. And they come on the show all the time. So, you know, we've been concentrating on the show on not only New York City but California and Texas because there's some big races going on. So, what are the changes you have seen in Brooklyn, and what is it that you want to make sure you bring back?
Okay. Public safety, number one. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I can barely walk out of my apartment
Mhm.
without, some level of discomfort that is just not even acceptable. And I live in a very good good neighborhood.
Right.
It's you have so many mentally ill people on the streets that are not being taken care of, not being addressed, and simply being ignored. And it's because we've been desensitized to it. And it used to be funny, like in New York, all sorts of craziness can happen, and it's like, oh yeah, well, you New Yorkers, they just mind their business and don't look people in the eye and move on. That's just not normal. And it's not okay. And it's at a
Right.
level that I have never seen. And mind you, I grew up in New York City. In fact, I grew up in the projects. It's not like I'm a scaredy cat. It's not like I'm not street smart. But as a teenager, I would take the subways at 1 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. Was it smart? Probably not. Did I feel safe? Yes. And there's a level of that, when you're young, you feel invincible, right?
Yeah.
But
Of course.
I was taking the subway up until about 6 years ago, feeling pretty okay about it. It's not okay anymore. You're literally, in fact, my walk to the subway, it feels like I'm dodging death, and I'm not being dramatic. I'm not. Within 3 blocks of my apartment, I will be face to face with somebody who's either yelling at me, trying to spit on me, getting in my face, screaming at me every day.
Mhm.
And it doesn't matter what time it is. And I've told this story before. My office was broken into. My office, again, in a very good neighborhood. Last summer, broken into 3 times. And we finally changed the front door. The fourth time they tried to break in, I was inside. It was not even 5 o'clock at night.
Mm.
We are not safe. And that's the first thing that I'm going to advocate for is public safety. This bail reform needs to be reformed.
Yeah. He
We
said
need
Yeah.
to
bye
see
bye.
on the beat. We need to see cops out of their patrol cars, out of the precincts, on the beat, like the good old days. Nobody should be a victim of crime. We should be
Yeah.
preventing crime. There should be a police presence. And I
Mhm.
understand why there isn't, but there needs to be. And we need to take care of the mentally ill, and we need to take care of the homeless. And no matter what, people want to say, oh, it's insensitive to take homeless off the street and to bring mentally ill people into facilities. Well, what about
Why?
people that can't even leave their homes? What about people that are imprisoned in their own homes? I was talking to somebody tonight at the feast. She's like, oh, I miss being able to sit on my stoop. We are prisoners in our own homes. And let me tell you what happens when people are not
Mhm.
sitting on their stoops or walking in the streets. We lose eyes,
Yeah.
we lose community, we lose people looking
Mhm.
out for each other,
Yep.
and we need that back.
It's been missing for quite some time now. Um,
Years.
yeah. I can tell you, I went into Sunset Park about, I want to say around 2007 was the last time I was there. I was in Sunset Park, and where I grew up was like, when I grew up in Sunset Park, it was the the dirty ones in La Familia were constantly gunning each other down. Then the Latin Kings kind of rolled in, and then I moved out at that point. All right, so
Mm.
like it was pretty
Wait, what
bad.
year was
That's in
that?
Sunset. This was 19, I want to say 86 around then,
Oh,
because I started
wow.
high school in 87, so this was 86. Okay, and you know, so I hadn't been back there for, 20 years, right? Like, 30 years actually when you think about it. So 2007, I'm there doing a project in Sunset Park down, it was that we're right down by 36th Street, stuff like that, on the water. We were building a barge, and actually the barge is over in Battery Park City now. Um, Anyway, I went up to my old neighborhood, and it was like night and day. I was like, wow, this was like, it was nice. It was like really nice. All those old brownstones that are there were like, people have bought them up and stuff. The businesses were booming on Fifth Avenue and
Mhm.
stuff. So it was like good to see. So I was like, well, this is good to see. But the community feeling was still there. That even when it wasn't good, that community feeling of, like you said, the neighbors sitting on the stoop watching each other's
Yeah.
kids and whatnot, that all has gone away and stuff. So that was the last time I was back in Brooklyn. and it was like, wow, still pretty
Brooklyn
cool.
has become very transient, and part of that problem is that we have 70% renters versus
Mm,
30% homeowners.
mm,
So people
Mhm.
come here, they stay a few years, they leave. We've got to
mhm.
we've got to flip that. It's got to be 70% homeowners, 30% renters. Because
Right.
these same people that are coming in for a few years, and I don't know if you guys know this, I'm a realtor. That's my business. I'm a real estate professional for almost 20 years here. And so I know exactly what's going on in terms of why people come, why they leave, where they're going, where they're coming from. And so as long as we have 70% renters and 30% owners, we're going to keep having this, these groups of people that come in. They're not really invested or vested in Brooklyn. They're here because
Right.
they're going to school or they have a job, and they don't really care what happens when they leave. And we
Right.
really have to change that. We really have to promote home ownership and and people staying here and people having families here, and just staying put and really being a part of the community, becoming part of the neighborhood.
Yeah. Scott, you got anything, brother?
Well, I guess the first question was like, how would you work to promote that? What you were just talking about, as far as like trying to flip them back.
Yeah, well, I mean, the
Like, What
first
what
thing
what
is,
can, what can we do? Like, what can we do to kind of like at least trend it in the better direction?
first of all,
As in,
education. I speak to people all the time who don't think they can own. And I'm telling you right now, you could be homeless today
Mhm.
and you can own your own home in a few years. It is possible if New York City offers
Mhm.
a lot. We have a lot of programs for all sorts of people. I mean, this is why so many people come here, right? We give everything
Sure.
away, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also part of
Sometimes
the
to the wrong
problem.
element, unfortunately.
Yeah, sometimes too
Absolutely.
much. Yeah.
Absolutely. But we do have things that that do incentivize home ownership, like the first time
Mhm.
home buyers down payment assistance program, which is essentially $100,000, up to $100,000 of free money to buy a home. We could also concentrate, instead of building, making these deals with developers for rentals, we could do some sort of low income or affordable housing that you own. So there are things that we can do to promote it. We're not promoting it. I know why we're not promoting it, because there's a lot more money to be made when you keep people down,
Right.
and
Yeah,
that really
the
is the
bigger
problem.
investors will come in and buy, like, companies like BlackRock are buying properties all across the country, and then they're not even selling them, to people. It's straight up rental right after they purchase them. So yeah, that's that's the catch.
Well, and I think New York City does a really good job of monetizing on people's misery and misfortune. And there's a lot of money, and I say this all the time. And I think it's coming out in the news right now with some corruption involving the current administration. These homeless contracts, these contracts for people that run homeless shelters are
Mhm.
astronomical.
Yeah, we
And
Crazy.
talked
so,
about that.
let the people come into
So much.
the city, throw them in homeless shelters. Well, first you throw them in, like, emergency migrant
Yeah,
shelters. And then where do they go from
Mhm.
there? Well, let's build some homeless shelters. Then they get moved into the homeless shelters and then into other types of low income or subsidized housing. And so these contracts are huge. Tens of
yeah.
millions. I think
Mhm.
New York City just signed almost $1 billion contract,
Saw that. Saw that.
which
Mhm.
absolutely is, first of all, as a lump sum, ridiculous. But when you know how long that contract is for and how many beds that is, it just becomes, obviously, and I want to watch my words here.
No, you don't
Um,
have to. We're
well,
free speech on here.
Uh,
according to the
I,
She got.
I
lawyers that call me up every day, I do.
No, she's got to watch. She's got to.
It doesn't
no,
make
I
Yeah.
know,
sense.
I know you got to watch what you say, but like we don't worry about it. We'll get what it is that you're saying, and we'll make sure we say it for you if we have to.
Put it this way: if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense,
Right.
Mhm.
and that's happening,
Do they have?
especially with housing.
Have they had like a lot of problems in New York, like they have out in California, where they have these like $100 million contracts for homeless shelters, and it
And don't
turns out
build
that
them.
they either don't build them or they've taken hardly anybody off the street, or they built like one home for like, and they spent like $1 million on one home for one homeless person. Is there stuff like that going on in New York City?
Absolutely, every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sad.
It's sad for many reasons. It's sad because that's our money. Those are
Hmm.
our dollars going to build these things. Also, they're being put into communities where the people who own homes in the community don't want them. And it's like, all right, you're going to take our money and put something in our neighborhood that we don't want. Like, what a slap in the face. And then,
Hmm.
if you say you don't want, for example, a homeless shelter in your neighborhood, you're called all sorts of names, but you have every right.
Istanisms.
It,
Yeah.
it's it's laughable. It really is, because if you knew, first of all, why these things were going up, you would be offended,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And we have every right to say we don't want something. And this is what really upsets me, because I happen to have a lot of homeless shelters around me, and to say that putting these shelters in your neighborhood is not going to change things is a flat out lie.
100% lie.
But that's what they tell you. Don't
Hmm.
worry, it's families with children, it's
It's
this,
not.
it's that. First of all, it's so dependent on who's managing them. And who's managing them are these companies
Hmm.
that are not even here.
Yep.
It's so easy to look this stuff up too, by the way.
Yeah, it is. You're talking about the NGOs that run all this stuff. It's a racket. It's a complete
Exactly.
racket. They lace their pockets in their, in their palms. They grease them up, and they spend maybe, if on a good year, 10% of that, right? But most, it's usually probably less than 5% on actual what it is that they're supposed to be doing. Everything else goes to salaries and into people's pockets and whatnot. So it is
I
a
mean, can you
travesty.
imagine nearly $1 million salaries for CEOs of nonprofit homeless shelters?
Yeah.
Yep.
The hypocrisy of it all is disgusting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They,
And
they're in a. Go ahead, Scott.
for everybody that says that they don't want these in their neighborhood, and then we're not talking about them, but the people that will call them names, or like point the finger at you if you're being intolerant or something like that. Um, you know, everybody's fine with everything until they get punched in the face with the problem.
It's so true.
And you think about Anna Kasparian from the Young Turks, who I don't think she's on there anymore, but she used to be the host on the Young Turks. I want to say she lived in San Francisco,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
she had one view of the homeless people on the street until she literally got like mugged just
She
trying to get to
she
her
got
car.
assaulted. Yeah.
She assaulted. I'm not sure if it was sexually assaulted or just assaulted. She was just trying to put the trash out or some basic thing, walk her dog. And now all of a sudden she kind of like the bell clicked, and it's like, yeah, it's not just about empathy, like, oh, you have to just let them be. No, you have to try to rehabilitate people, because that's the only way to fix the problem. You can't just throw money at it and say, we're going to give you needles, or we're going to give you, diapers, or whatever the hell they give them. And, to say, yeah, we're helping them, by just letting them just do what they want to do. That's not making the neighborhood better. That's not enriching the neighborhood at all.
And it's not making them better.
And not making, yeah, making the
People that
people
are
better.
in these
Absolutely.
facilities.
Yeah,
Well, you
I
both
agree.
mentioned you both mentioned something that's very, very important, right? Like, we're talking about a little now we're talking about mental health, some, right?
Hmm.
When we started getting rid of places where we actually used to put these people, okay, and actually used to service them, some of them were better than others. Obviously, there were problems. We can't say that there weren't, right? But when we started getting rid of that, that's when a lot of these problems happened, not only in just New York, across the country. When we started getting rid of people, like, locking them up in places where they needed to be, okay, and actually giving them what they need, right? Like, because I know, being a combat veteran, okay, a lot of my population, not a lot, but like, a decent amount of my population is on the streets, okay. And I watched in real time as I was watching veterans getting kicked out of shelters and stuff like that, while Mayor Adams was toting the billions of dollars of putting illegal aliens in freaking hotels and all that other shit, and other shelters and stuff. And we watched that in real time. And we talked about it on the show at length. Okay. And it
Still pisses me
infuriated
off.
me. Yeah, it just like infuriated me. Like, veterans were literally on the news talking about, yeah, I was in this place right now, and like now I'm out because like we're gonna just take these people, all right, that not only did they bust in, they flew in, okay, on our dime, right, and put them in a place where I should be right now. So like it affects everybody. Okay. And the homeless population, like I said, it's a big thing for me, like I said, because there's a lot of veterans, okay, who across the country who it affects. So when you see all this shit happening and they catering to certain populations or whatnot, that it's quite aggravating. And the people who are supposed to be
Don't
getting
quote
that.
me on these numbers, but I believe the budget for 2026 gives 5 million to veterans and 55 million to illegals. Look up those
That doesn't
numbers, but
surprise
I'm
me.
pretty sure that's what the budget says for 2026.
For the city of New York.
Yes.
Didn't they just sign a new contract in New York City
Yes.
about like I don't
The
remember how
biggest
much it
ever.
was. Some ridiculous number,
The
maybe
biggest
100 million
budget
or
ever,
something
and I'm
crazy.
pretty sure that's what the numbers are.
My God.
That's so sad.
Yep. We don't take care
That's
of
so
our
sad.
veterans. We don't take care of our American citizens.
Yes. It
It's
pisses me off that New York is no different than any other like big city. There's plenty of homeless people walking around. There's people with drug problems, mental health problems. Some people just have came bad luck, and they either lost their job, they lost their house, maybe they lost family members that couldn't support the bills anymore, and they find themselves on the street. And yet they're sitting there giving freaking illegals Xboxes to
yeah.
freaking play with. I'm sorry. I'm about to, yeah.
That's
I
all right.
just,
We might get a rant from Red
and
Day
I'm not even
over
there.
that.
I'm not even
Yeah.
there, and that pissed me off.
Yeah.
I can imagine how pissed off like the average New Yorker who just with their eyes are open, we're just like, what the heck?
But that's the
Yeah.
problem. They're
What the heck
not.
is going on?
They're not.
Well,
They're
fair
not
enough.
pissed off enough, and that's why we're in the
True.
situation we're in right now.
It's a great way of putting it. It's a great way of putting it. You're not pissed off enough.
They're
You
not.
don't hate them enough. You just don't. Uh,
No, I agree.
mm, yeah. So what are some of the things that as borough president, when elected, I'm gonna say when elected because we're gonna do our best to definitely be your hype people over here on this channel,
Thank you.
okay, to make sure we hype it up for you. Um, what are some of the things that you will bring as change as a Brooklyn borough president?
First of all, I'm going to focus on Brooklyn and Brooklynites, people that live and work here. And I think that's what's been missing for a while. Our borough presidents have been so focused not on things happening in their own backyard, but on things happening on a global level. And it's
Hmm.
like, you are not elected by people 3,000 miles away. Stay in
Right,
your lane.
right. Like, what are some of the things that your opponent, who's the incumbent right now, is it Reynoso? Is that
Yes,
did I get that right? Okay. What are
you
some of the
did.
things that he's done that have not been for Brooklyn? So people are aware who are watching. And this is some of the crap that this guy does has nothing to do with being in Brooklyn.
Well, he's pro congestion pricing.
Oh yeah. So
And
he's right up there
congestion
with
pricing has hurt Brooklyn the most because
yes.
it is the only way to get to certain places outside of the city
Yeah.
without paying a toll or a fee or a tax. And what it's done to the downtown area, Flatbush Avenue, Atlantic Avenue, it's made things so much worse. So anybody who represents Brooklyn and is pro congestion pricing doesn't care about the people of Brooklyn. That's number one.
Right.
They just simply don't. Um, and also anybody who's representing Brooklyn and anywhere in New York City, if you are not talking about public safety and not backing the blue and not pro law enforcement, you don't care about the citizens. You don't.
That is true. Again, I got to witness the how Giuliani handled things. My mom was on the job in the South Bronx. Okay,
Mm.
so like she got, when did she get out? Was it 2006? She got out, yeah, 2006 is when she got out. But she was in the South Bronx. She was in the 4-6. Uh, at the time when she was there in the 80s, it was the most dangerous square mile in America. Uh,
Wow.
they called it the Alamo for a reason. And, I remember going into that neighborhood to pick her up sometimes because I was in the military at the time in the Marine Corps. And when I used her car, I would go pick her up if she was working. Like, I would drop her off and then pick her up when I was home on leave. So I understand I got plenty of police officers in my family, so like I get it, and the caliber of police officers, unfortunately, that NYPD has right now is not all of them. Okay, there is a significant amount that are just they're too woke to be cops in my mind because of the standards that changed. They need to go
Oh,
back to some of the old
absolutely.
standards.
But why would you want this job? Why
Right.
would you want this job when you have no respect? There's
It's
no
true.
honor to the badge. People are in your face 24/7, recording your badge, cursing at you, calling you names, spitting in your
It's true.
face, throwing things at you. Who are we going to recruit for that job? And by the way, paying them
And getting
not
away with
enough
it though.
money for that.
You didn't used to get away with that, like, but they're getting away with
DAs,
it, and
the
that's the
DAs
big
don't
issue.
support them. The judges
Yeah.
don't support them.
Yeah.
Well, we need a whole overhaul of the judicial system and quite frankly, the entire local government.
Yeah.
One step at a time, one borough
Yeah.
at a
One
time.
borough at a time. Let's start with you, and let's get you in there and set
Every
the
little
example
bit
for everybody
helps,
else.
we have to overhaul the city council. The city council has most of the power,
Yep.
and they are so one-sided and they are so inept.
Mhm.
It's scary. It's scary what they focus on. I mean, it's just the coddling of criminals is astounding. Um, in fact, I was looking at all of the bills that are on the table right now, and it's like 50% of them are, what are we going to do for people that are incarcerated? I'm
As if
not
they haven't
kidding.
done enough.
I'm not kidding. That's
Nope.
what they're focused on. And
Mm.
immigrants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spending your tax
Well,
dollars,
not
right?
just
Because you
not
get
just immigrants, specifically the ones who probably got here by,
The
less
last
than
couple of
legal
years.
means.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the last couple of years.
Those immigrants, not the ones who got here through the regular process.
No, they're focused on the ones that came in the last few years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
In
And and
particular,
and
the
you
last
know,
4 years.
and I'm not anti-immigration. You can,
None of us are. None of us are.
well, there are some people that are. Let's not be naive to that, right? But
Mhm.
it's
Sure.
so important to have systems in place for things like this so that you are truly helping people and not hurting other people in the process. And we don't have that. We haven't had that. It's something that we really do need to focus on because at the end of the day, these people are here, right? So what are we going to do about it? But it's something that really needs to be focused on in a way that is not giving everything to them, but figuring it out, making well, and this is so beyond the pay scale of a borough president, but immigration's a problem. It's a problem
Huge
that,
problem.
yeah,
Goes back to the goes back, but I can remember for a long time. We've been dealing with this for a long time and actually not dealing with it for a long time.
exactly,
Yeah.
not dealing with it for a long time, but in the last few
Mhm.
years, it's gotten to be, quite the problem here.
Yeah, I will say this. I mean, a lot of people are self-deporting. They're getting the opportunity to self-deport without any. If you self-deport, you actually have a chance to come back the right way if you do it. If you just take yourself out, they'll let you come back the right way. Okay. Again, I think most Americans have nothing against legal immigration. Are there some people who, yeah, there are some people who probably against immigration, but I think most Americans are okay with immigration as long as you're doing
People
it the
that don't
right
want us
way.
here.
Yeah, we just just do it the right way, right? Like, I will say this, what needs to change is the immigration process. Okay,
Right.
we have a viewer who's a friend of ours, okay? And she'll probably watch this show over the weekend, okay? It took her 25 years to get her citizenship and she served the country.
That's
Okay.
just ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. All right. Like, there are things that need
Mhm.
to be changed in the system. Like, I will agree with that 100%. All right. But I will stand fast on, and actually the Latino community is a Wep Off Friday because you got 3 Puerto Ricans on the show today. Okay.
Oh, we do?
It's a Wep Off
Oh yeah.
I
Friday.
didn't
All
know
right.
that.
Yeah. um,
Mhm.
yep. You know, even the Latinos, this last election, okay, we're like, yeah, we're done with this illegal immigration shit, especially the ones who came here legally. Okay, we're like, I'm watching these people jump to the front of the line. They're getting 5-star hotels and steaks and game and Xboxes and PlayStations and shit. When it took me, 20 plus years to get my citizenship, and I did it the right way.
Yeah.
So that it didn't have the effect they thought it was by bringing all those people in the last 4 years. It actually did not have the effect they thought it was, but now it's a problem, right? And I know people don't like the optics of what's going on, but it's something that has to happen. It's unfortunate, but it has to happen. And again, immigration has been going back. They keep using like the 10 million number. I've been hearing 10 million like over the last 30 years. It's more like 65 million. Okay,
Yeah, it's
over
way
the
more than
last 30
10.
years. It's crazy. How do you handle that in Brooklyn? Because I know Brooklyn has that issue too. Every borough has that issue.
Well, we handle it with well, I don't think we're handling it. And that's
Okay,
that's a,
that's
that's
fair.
at the mayoral level, right?
Okay.
But I would certainly have a voice in like what comes to Brooklyn, right?
Mhm.
So in terms of now, I don't think we're going to have this year because of everything that's going on with the federal government and ICE and all that. It's going to be a different situation than it was last year because we don't have
Right.
people coming in. We have the people
Right.
that are here. So how do we deal with that? And I it will be very hard to deal with that on a local level. It really
Mhm.
will. If it's going to depend on funding, it's going to depend on law enforcement, it's going to depend on real estate. I think I don't know if the shelter is coming here. I can't recall where the shelter is, but it's quite frankly, I think it's going to be a mess,
Mm.
especially if we're
Yeah,
losing
man.
funding for so many of these programs that serve these people. It's going to be a
Yeah.
problem. So where do you fill those gaps when things like money for shelters is gone or money for nonprofits is gone? How do you fill those gaps? We're going to have to rely on community and nonprofits and the private sector because there is going to
You know
be
what?
funds.
You know what
It's
I
bad.
always wondered? I always wondered. This is when I was younger. I didn't quite understand why we don't do this more. But like when people are on welfare, when people are on unemployment or whatever, I don't understand why we couldn't have like social programs where they have to they can get the benefit, but why can't they work part time?
Well, that's what's happening now, right? Isn't that the new rule?
Well, they're saying I think the rule with the federal government is that if they're able-bodied or whatever that I think the time has been shortened. But I'm just saying while they're on it, why can't there's got to be something that they could do, whether it's just typing or filing or or if you don't have office skills, outdoor work. There's got to be everybody has skills. Even unskilled people have things that they could do, to better the community, to help the local government, or just anything that they could places where they would rely on volunteers, kind of put them to work. I don't mean full time, part time, so they still have time, that they can even look for a job or whatever.
But
But
who's
just
doing that
something that would
oversight? Who's doing
I
that
don't know.
oversight? Who's holding people accountable? Who's
That
checking on these
that's
things?
that's the key right there
That
is the
that would be
oversight.
the key. I'm not saying I have all the answers. I'm just saying for the example of the say the people who they're trying to quote help, the undocumented, whatever you want to call them, illegal, undocumented. Um, why can't they help them that way? Saying, listen, yeah, we're going to help you. We're going to help provide you with this or that, but you know, there's some labor that we need from you to do that, and whether it could be, what, a lot of these people are from foreign language. You can't tell me that they don't need translators. They're always looking for translators, especially in a place like New York City. They
It's
need
just a
people.
lot easier to cut the checks.
That's the easier slash lazier way. I get it. I
But
get it.
that's who's working in these city agencies.
Oh,
I was telling a
yeah.
story the other day. I had to go to the Department of Buildings for a client of mine, and
To deal with them
they
before.
they gave me a form, okay? And by the way, my clients had been going around and around in circles, trying to get this particular form to solve his problem. And I finally, he was an elderly
Mhm.
man. I said, you know what? I'll go for you.
Mhm.
Get to the Department of Buildings, and they gave me a form with Ed Koch as the mayor. And these are the people that you think are going to say, listen, you can have this, but you need to
Holy
do this,
shit.
this, and that. And I'm going to follow up and make sure. No, these are not the people that are going to do
Those,
that. And that's why we don't need a
yeah,
bigger government. That's why we need a
that's true.
smaller
Yeah,
government.
That is true, 100%.
yeah.
Well, you know,
Shame.
yeah, I mean, you mentioned the NGOs and stuff like that, right? And the
Oh,
nonprofits. The problem is that the nonprofits weren't doing what it is that they were supposed to do, right? We're paying these nonprofits to do something. It's not getting to where it goes to, right? The
I
nonprofits
literally
and
made this comment. So we're having a big problem with these NGOs. Okay.
huge,
Um,
huge problem.
huge. We are trying to pass, not, I shouldn't say we are because I'm not. City
Mhm.
Council is trying to pass legislation to make it so that if you want to sell a building, let's say an investment property, you are not allowed to sell it unless you alert HPD of your intent to sell so that these nonprofits and these NGOs get the right of first refusal. Okay. Now, if you get an offer and you don't want it, then you can list the
Mhm.
property with a realtor. But once you get an offer, it then has to go back to HPD so that the nonprofits can counter offer. And so, basically what they're doing is they're trying to insert their ideology and their agenda by way of these nonprofits
Marxism.
and
It's let's
NGOs.
be let's call it what it is. It's Marxism.
But they're not only doing that on a purchase level, I am noticing, in particular in my neighborhood where I live, I am noticing that every commercial storefront that becomes vacant is being rented by nonprofits. And every
Mm.
time I walk by, they are empty. They have nice signs, they have nice offerings. This is what's going on, but nothing's ever going on. It's
So what are they
very
using as a tax write-off or
suspicious.
something?
It's a
I
money
don't
laundering
know,
scheme.
but it is very
Hmm.
suspicious.
How do
They
you
probably
handle
need to
that
have
as
a certain number of they need to have so many locations or something like that, and they probably just using it as an
yeah,
address.
Well,
yeah.
they're getting the money from the taxpayers. It's not even like they're playing. Listen, if somebody's giving you a bag of money, are you really going to worry about like, oh well, we've been sitting here empty for 3 months and we haven't had a class or an event or any. They don't care.
There's no
Yeah.
enforcement though. That's why they don't care.
Just
There's
like you
no
said, there's
enforcement.
no accountability. Who's
Yeah,
holding
there's
them
no enforcement.
accountable? Nobody.
And let me just point out, with these nonprofits taking up these commercial spaces, they're not paying market rate because it's
Of
free
course
money,
not.
right? So they're
Yeah.
probably paying 2 or 3 times what a normal commercial renter would pay, thus manipulating the marketplace and making it impossible for a small business owner to compete for that space. And this
Yeah.
is why the small businesses are being destroyed.
Hmm. Is that like I'm familiar, like I said, with Fifth Avenue, all up and down Brooklyn. Fifth Avenue is nothing but business from like one side of Brooklyn to the other, essentially. Uh,
Mhm.
are you seeing that on like Fifth Avenue, Fourth Avenue, Third Avenue, and Bay Ridge and whatnot? See,
I'm not seeing it
I'm
in Bay
bringing
Ridge
my
yet.
what do you call it?
I'm seeing it downtown Brooklyn,
hmm
Park Slope,
hmm
the bluer areas, if you will.
Yeah.
I don't see it so much in Bay Ridge.
Hmm.
Not yet. Sunset Park is still looking okay. I'm seeing storefronts close.
Mm.
A lot of
It's just
vacancies.
again, like Scott was saying, right? Like it's just there's no oversight. Okay, so and it's deliberate. The non-oversight is deliberate, right? Because
She was saying that she was schooling me. There's no oversight.
yeah,
I
it's
was
just
hoping there was.
you agreeing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
no, there really isn't. Not from what I see, anyway. I should say, in my opinion, there is no oversight.
it's a money laundering
Yeah.
scheme, right? With these NGOs, these NGOs essentially
And
don't really exist.
in the end, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't really exist. anybody could start an NGO, right? You can start an NGO, throw an LLC, and make it a five. You know what I'm saying? 501c. There you go. Your NGO is started, right? And then you capture a contract because you know somebody downtown, okay? A city council member, you know somebody, all right? And next thing you know, your pockets are laced with all kinds of money coming in. You give people jobs that are not qualified for whatever the position is, but you put their names in there. You pay them a salary and stuff like that, and you find ways to bank the rest of the money. It's absolutely disgusting, and it's
And then
happening all
it's
across the country.
really gets interesting when people are running for office and you go to the Follow the Money website and you see those same NGOs donating to campaigns. That's when
Sure.
it gets very interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's all
Some
in
they're
your
not even
face.
hiding it.
It's all in your face. But
Yeah.
you
They're
know,
doing it overtly. They used to do it covertly. Now it's overtly. Now it's out in the open. They
yeah,
don't care because again, there's no oversight. Deliberately, there's
no
no
one is being
oversight.
held accountable, but they
Yeah.
don't need to because our entire local, not our entire local government, but it goes one way. This
Right.
is a one-party city.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
If it was more balanced, I think you would see more accountability.
it wasn't always that way. It wasn't always that way. And I tell this story all the time. Is the same thing with the state. Okay, like the state assembly and the state senate were split red and blue. Senate was red for a very long time, and the state assembly was blue. This is just on the state level, all right? And they worked with each other. They had disagreements, but they worked with each other. And as progressive as New York is, the state of New York and New York City and whatnot, it wasn't as bad as what it is now. Right, there
Mm.
was still some compromise with one another. Again, this was in the 1990s, early 2000s, and I blame Pataki for on our side because I'm like, you did nothing to help the Republican Party in the state of New York. You absolutely let it get crushed, okay? And you know, it's sad because even in the city council, it was pretty balanced. Okay, there was
Oh,
enough
not
Republicans in
anymore.
the city council. It's not. It's complete Marxist takeover.
Yeah, it's wild. I tell people every day, they're like, "What are you?" And I said, "What does it matter? This is not about
Yeah.
Republican and Democrat anymore. This is about Republicans versus socialism,
Hmm.
Marxism,
Yep.
progressivism, whatever that is. I mean, the
Marxism. You hit it right.
progressives,
It's Marxism.
it's wild. There are
It's gonna
really
get
no
even
more
worse.
Democrats in New York City.
Yeah, the classic liberal is gone in New York City, right? It's socialism at its core. And you guys are in for one hell of a mayoral fight. And if it goes the way I hope it doesn't, you guys are being even more it's gonna get worse.
It's actually, I mean, I will say this is probably the wrong choice of words, but it's actually exciting in a way that I've never seen this in my lifetime, and I probably will never see this again. This is
Right.
wild.
I hope
What
we don't see it again.
actually happened?
Yeah, I hope not.
I mean, I'm with you with that, but
I'm
it's
afraid it's gonna.
unbelievable. It really
I
is
mean, at some point
unbelievable.
it has to stop.
You know, I tell people
Can it?
this is not a capitalist city. This is a capitalist country, right? But New York City is a hyper capitalist city. You know, we are the financial capital of the world. It's like, you know, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. It's all about the grind. It's all about the hustle. It's all about achieving the American dream and your ability to do that from nothing. And to be faced with you know, potentially a mayor that doesn't believe in any of that, it, it's
Well,
unbelievable.
to be fair, and I'm not really being fair, okay, he is a capitalist for himself. Okay, he doesn't want
Oh, well,
capitalism for anybody else, right? Like
that's how all
there's
the
some
elitists are. That's how
right
all the
there.
elitists are.
Correct, correct.
Yeah.
That
Different
all
set of
Marxists
rules
are
for
like
them.
that. They all benefit from benefit from capitalism. They don't want anybody else to benefit from capitalism.
Correct. Thank you for the correction. You are right.
You know
You are right. I
that's
always find it interesting that the left of the left are the wealthiest, and the people that
100%.
support them, the people that
It's
support them. I mean, where do you see all these signs for the socialist politicians in the windows of $6 and $8 and $12 million brownstones?
Yep.
yeah.
Because they don't
It's
have to
sad.
worry about if their hard-earned dollars go out the door.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They had the tax loopholes in order for them to You know, the higher you get in a tax bracket, okay, the more
Unless you
tax
feel
loopholes you got.
this type
Yeah,
of progressive agenda. And
yeah.
it's the hardworking people, it's the working, the real working families, not this political title of working families, which has
Yeah.
nothing to do with working families. It's the hardworking people, the blue collar people, the low income, middle income, whatever. And those are your Republicans and conservatives. But they want to say
Oh,
that all we are for are the billionaires and money. It blows my mind. I'm like, wait, I'm a billionaire? I have money? Somebody
Yeah.
show me where it's stashed, because
it's in your
I'm out here
offshore
working.
account.
Yeah, my offshore account.
It's
Somebody
in
give
the
me the
Grand
codes to
Caymans
that.
right now.
It's in Bitcoin somewhere. It's
Yeah,
somewhere, but it's not in my pocket. It's God, the hypocrisy. It's just this is why I was a Democrat also. This is why I left the party. The hypocrisy, and then none of it made sense anymore to me. It really didn't, and it doesn't today, and I don't think it ever will.
that's okay. You're in a position now where you're fighting to, not only save your community but save your borough. Okay, and to the best of your ability, right? Because if what comes, it's going to be very hard. Even if you get elected, it's going to be very hard for you, because like you're going to be fighting for your constituents in your borough.
Right.
Okay, and you're going to have somebody across the freaking Brooklyn Bridge, all right, who doesn't have, the best interests of anybody at all but himself. So this is why any New Yorkers, if you're watching, Curtis Lee was the guy. Okay, you absolutely must. If there's anybody who represents New York City and has always represented New York City, is Curtis. You guys should be running, okay, to elect him in this upcoming election, because he's the man, and even him is going to be faced with the city council that he has, but he can put a stop to a lot of stuff. He can write executive orders that can help you guys. Okay, so you have to think about the whole. We talk a lot on this show, and Scott actually he hits it all the time. The long game. All right, like Marxists are great at the long game. They've been playing it in our country since the late 19th centuries. So, in order for us, if we want to start winning, we have to play the long game. It's great if we can just burn it all down, it would be great. We really can't. That's just not how it works. All right.
Yeah.
We have to play the long game. And by doing it, it's by looking at people like Janine, okay, and what it is that she wants to do for her constituents in Brooklyn. All right. And getting people like her elected. It's the first step. You got to take the first step, fam.
Yeah, the first and really the very first step is register to vote. So many people, I can't tell you. And I was out
It's
getting
infuriating.
signatures to get on the ballot, and asking for donations, like the beginning of my campaign. How many people told me, "Oh, I'm not going to sign that," or "I'm not going to give you money. You're not going to win."
Sad.
We have to change the mentality. We have to
It's
make sure
defeatist.
we're registered to vote. We have to make sure we get out to vote. So we have to do all these things before we go out to vote. And then when we do go out to vote, we have to vote differently. But my concern is that not enough people are even going to go out to vote because they think we have no shot. I would
Black-pilled. They're
not have
black-pilled.
put my entire life on hold to run for public office, which was never a thought in my mind, if I thought I didn't have a shot. That would just make me stupid or crazy, and I'm neither of those things. And there are so many good candidates that are running in the Republican and conservative lines and in the independent lines that can bring positive change, balance out the local government, that are in the same position as me. They did not have to do this. They did not want to do this, but what choice did they have? They want to stay in this city. They want to stay in their careers. And by the way, I would say all of the people running on those lines are not career politicians.
Yeah, they're
They're
normal
business
people.
people, they're entrepreneurs, they're individuals that were fired for not taking the COVID vaccine.
Yeah, that's Athena. You're talking about Athena Clark,
I'm
right?
talking about Athena Clark and many other
Yeah.
teachers and
We
nurses,
got Elijah.
first
Elijah's
responders.
coming on the 12th. So
I
like,
was just with him at the feast.
thanks to
He's
you, he
another
pointed it
small.
out to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
He's
thanks
also
to
a
you.
small business
I name
owner.
dropped you. I name dropped you. I'm gonna be honest. Like when I reached out to, I think he would have came on anyway because he seems like that type. But I name dropped. I said, "Hey, we're having Janine on Friday. Would you consider coming on the show?" And he was like, "Absolutely." And I'm
He's
gonna
also
reach out
Puerto
to Athena
Rican
as
like
well.
us.
Yep,
He's a
it'll be
Puerto
another
Rican
whip on
young
Friday.
guy. He's going to be on Friday?
No, no.
Wait, today is
The
Friday.
no, Friday the 12th of September. He's gonna be on.
2
Okay,
weeks.
okay.
I think
2
maybe
weeks.
2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a very interesting thing that if you look at the Democrats, which as we mentioned are not really Democrats, they're all career politicians.
Yeah.
And if you look at everybody running to oppose them, which by the way is not enough, there are so many empty seats in city council and other positions
Really?
where there's no opposition. So these
Oh,
people
I
just
got you.
slide
Okay.
in,
Right.
right? But the people that are running independent, Republican, conservative, I don't think any of them are career politicians. How interesting is that? All they
Mine are
have
the twins.
experienced is life outside of the government circle. And the people that are in office have no idea what life is like outside of the government circle. They only know government from the inside. They have no idea what the user experience is as a regular working person.
Wow.
Yeah, we have to change that.
We
We're
do.
constantly bringing people on the show, patriots like you. All right, we love this. This is the attitude that we want to bring to people. Hey, get up. If you can serve, get up and serve in some form of fashion. Get out and help these campaigns, fam. If you're in New York City, if you're in Brooklyn and you're watching this show, find out where Janine's office is at. Her links are all in the description, so you can click on it, donate, whatever you find out, get an address, go sign up and help her out because New York City needs people like her. And she's mentioned some of the other conservatives, which we're gonna have Elijah Diaz on with us. So, and I'm gonna reach out to Athena because I took your advice right away and it was like, you know what, I'm gonna name drop Janine with Elijah, okay? Because
Yeah,
I gotta get him on the show.
Athena Clark is running for District 46. She was a tenured teacher fired for not taking the COVID vaccine, and that's what compelled her to run. I don't really know what compelled Elijah to run. I know for myself, my business was directly attacked. And this wasn't the first time. This is the second time in 5 years that the government has tried to tell me you cannot work.
Okay, for what reasons? What's their reasoning?
Well, the
Or
first
did they
reason
even
was
give a
COVID.
reasoning?
The first
Okay.
reason was COVID. They shut us down. Realtors could not work, but they told me I could get a job at Costco where I would be, in
An
contact
essential
with
person.
thousands of
You'd be
people again.
essential.
Since when is housing not essential?
I agree. I
So this
agree.
was my big beef with Cuomo throughout COVID. I mean, I guess I was political because every minute I could get on Facebook, I was complaining about this guy. But so that was the first time they tried to shut me down. The second time was just this past June. And I knew this was coming. And that's why I decided to run when they passed a law called the FAIR Act that was a direct attack on my industry once again, that basically said from now on, if you want to rent an apartment in New York City, whoever hires the broker has to pay the broker. And I could go on and we could do a whole show about why that was detrimental to not only the industry, to landlords, to tenants, and to small businesses, but we don't have enough time for that. Anyway, it was passed under the guise of making housing more affordable. It had the opposite
Right.
effect, and it made a city council person a superstar.
Wow.
I don't know. Scott, you got anything, brother?
I had one question I was dying to ask you. I don't know if you touched on it when I ran to the bathroom. Obviously everybody sees what's going on in
TMI,
DC right now.
TMI.
No, no, no. It's all right. We take bathroom breaks. It's all good.
We do.
Um, we everybody sees what's going on in DC right now, and to be honest, I mean, I believe New York City is on the short list, that
Mm,
they may come to New York City
Right.
if if DC is a full success. It's still early, but it seems like it's helping. They're openly talking about what cities might be next, and I think New York City might have been in like the front five.
mm.
Just what are your thoughts on that? If they come to New York, or if they make the announcement that they're coming to New York City, they're coming to Brooklyn, because you mentioned earlier about how sometimes the neighbor, you can't even just take your trash out without crap going on.
Yeah.
Just What do you think, and what do you think the people would think, I guess, in your
Oh, the
district?
people will be protesting and rioting and putting signs in their windows and fighting at every
Oh,
step of
man.
the way, because that's what we do in New York City. We're anti everything here.
Yeah.
We really are. And we're really anti Trump.
Except for the things that you need to be anti.
Listen,
Mhm.
we basically voted out of hate in the primary,
Hmm.
right? Everybody hated Cuomo. So New Yorker, well, people, I don't want to say New Yorkers, people in New York City, it seems like they vote out of hate. And everything, they're against everything, anti everything. They're going to hate it. They're going to protest it. They don't want safe streets. They want homeless people living on the streets. They want mentally ill without care, without hospitalization, without medication. That's what's going to happen.
Right.
Me, I want to see people taken care of. And sometimes people are incapable of taking care of themselves. And I am all for stepping in to help people that cannot help themselves. And I'm also all for protecting people that would be victimized by those individuals, because it's not just the crime. And as a former Marine, and thank you for your service, you will understand what PTSD is, and it's real. And nobody should have to live through, through being victimized unnecessarily.
I also served in the
Do what
army
you have
too,
to
by the way,
do.
after 9/11. I
I'm
served in the
sorry, say
army
that
after
again.
9/11. I said I served in the army as well after 9/11. So
Thank you for your service times too.
it's I understand full well how PTSD affects people, and we say 22 a day in my community for a reason.
Mm.
It's a serious thing with people taking
Is
their
that the
lives and stuff.
suicide rate with Marines?
Military in general, veterans in general, it's 22 a day.
22 a day.
Yeah. It's I post every morning on my Instagram. I post a thing for any veterans, or actually it's really for anybody, but veterans in particular. Like, I post a sign. It's a guy holding a sign. It's like I post a sign every day to let you know, don't do it. Essentially, just I'm
Yeah,
here for you. I got your six. Reach out to me.
Mhm.
And I suffer myself. And it's just it is what it is. I'm willing to fight through it to help others. Because listen, everybody has something that they're going through, but it's
that's
22 a
right.
day right now in my community.
Yeah, so if we can make that number 0,
That
whatever
would
it
be
takes,
nice.
I'm all for it.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
100%. That's a whole other talk show anyway, though.
Yeah,
So,
but it's something important, and I'm glad you brought it up. And somebody said to me um, the other day, they said, nobody talks about men's mental health. Can you focus on men's mental health? And it was interesting to me as a woman. And by the way, I would be the first ever female Brooklyn Borough president. We have a different way of approaching things. We see things through different eyes, and I don't know that we think about how men are doing every day.
we
We
don't.
really
I
don't.
can tell you
How
100% we
often?
don't.
How often does somebody come up to you and say, "How you doing? How you holding up? Are you
If
good?"
it's not my boys, like Scott over here, Scott's like my great friend of mine. We talk to each other, or my battle buddies that I talk to. Um, nobody really comes, and my family, obviously my family and stuff like that, but nobody talks to us.
Yeah.
We there is a burden we hold, and we
Yeah,
hold it quietly.
yeah.
And it's
Mhm.
just it is what it is. It's
Well,
sad,
no, it doesn't
but it
have to
is.
be that way. We can change all that. We can change all that if we're focused, if we're really focused on people and their well-being instead of policies.
It's true. It's true. I agree 100%, Janine. Listen, we're what are we at? If you look at the stats, 90% of us, it's like anywhere between 70 and 90% when it comes to deaths with crimes, military, workspace, you name it. So it's like we
Mhm.
we carry a lot as
Yeah.
men, all right, and I think in more recent years, more men have been willing to talk and stuff like that about things, but it's just it's still a stigma. Okay, as a man, if you come out and you try to, explain to people how you're doing, you're looked at a certain way. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate that it's that way, but that's still something that carries. So I'm glad you brought that up. It's very important because a lot of the homeless are men. Okay, many of them, like I said, in my community, who are not doing very well. And like what Scott was saying, some people in not everybody who's homeless is a nut. Okay, there are some people who just couldn't make payments on stuff like that, and they just ended up where they're at and can't figure out how to get out of that. So I agree. There's stuff that needs to get done, and these NGOs aren't it right now. They've been taking advantage of the situation for decades now. As long as I live, they've been taking advantage of it, paying their people and not getting the money to where it needs to get done. For
Absolutely.
stuff to get done. So how does that? How as a Brooklyn as the borough president, how do you get to take care of things like that? Like, because you get to make a lot of decisions in the borough.
Well, we have 2 budgets.
Okay.
We have, and they're tens of millions of dollars. And one of those, I mean, both of them essentially could go to supporting NGOs and nonprofits. And you better believe I'm going to vet the hell out of them.
Mhm. It's important.
If you're going to get Brooklyn's money, your doors better be open and you better be doing something to help the people. I'm going to be
Well,
walking around.
right.
I'm going to
Yeah,
be
I
out
see you
and
walking
about.
around now, and I see you walking now all the time. So I'm pretty sure you're gonna do it.
Oh, I'm taking mental notes. I'm taking literal notes. I'm like, wait, this nonprofit has not opened in the last 6 days. How? And I'm a realtor. I have all this software. I'm like, how much rent are they paying? What do they buy this building for? What are they supposed to be doing? I mean, it's just, and women are so good at digging up dirt and getting information. And I'm like, oh,
Ain't that
listen,
ain't no lie.
if you are an NGO or a nonprofit and you're getting any
No
discretionary
lies told.
capital funding, it's going to be legit.
Good. It's good to hear. It's good to hear. Somebody needs to take them to task, and I hope you absolutely do that. I hope you get the hope you get the backing of your local precincts around these areas that, like, or whoever it is that is supposed to be inspecting this stuff. Like, I know there's got to be somebody in the city that is supposed to be inspecting this shit. So does that come out of City Hall, or is that in your borough? You have your own departments.
That's City Hall.
Hmm.
Well, with respect to, I mean, if you're talking about city agencies, that's City Hall, right?
Right.
HPD, DPP. But in terms of those smaller, the NGOs and the nonprofits, absolutely, that could be done on a borough level.
Hmm.
Absolutely, the money's coming from the borough, and in some
Good.
cases, these NGOs and these nonprofits are also getting, city funding, state funding, federal funding,
Right.
but obviously, I would be focused on what's coming out of Brooklyn's
Right.
budget and where it's going in Brooklyn and what they're
That's good.
doing for the people of Brooklyn.
That's it's good to hear. We want to see it.
It's
Janine,
really
we
not that
definitely want to see.
hard. It really isn't. It's maybe a little bit of extra work. And I was saying this, I've been asked this before, like in terms of transparency, how are you going to run the office? And first of all, on the front page of the official borough president's website should be the money we get from the
Right.
city. So this is the capital budget, the discretionary budget, and this is how much it is, and this is where the funds are going. I mean, it should be on the homepage.
Should be.
No?
Should be 100%. Everything should be transparent when it comes to our government. We should know where our money is going, but unfortunately, the oversight committees that are supposed to be doing it, they're all got their hands in it in everybody else's pockets as well. Well,
Mm-hmm.
Janine, we absolutely appreciate you taking your time tonight. We know you have a busy schedule. We know you were busy tonight, eating cannolis, which is like my favorite.
Being fed cannolis. Being fed cannolis.
You make it sound
Uh,
like your hands are tied behind your back.
yeah, you make it sound like, all right, like it's like I was being fed cologne.
They said we will only vote for you if we could feed you the cannoli.
Okay,
Okay.
amen.
You were working for the vote tonight.
That's, you know what? I will say, from checking your page out, you're constantly grinding, and I appreciate that. But plug whoever you have to plug right now. Let everybody know where you're going to be at, coming up, where people can find you. Again, all her
Or
links
your
are in the
website too.
description,
Where can
fam.
they find? Where can they donate to you?
Yeah, I
Yes,
actually got
so
that on the.
if you go to my webpage, which is
Mhm.
www.janineforbrooklyn.com, you can find links to donate, I think. Yes, you can.
Yeah,
A-
you can. I put them
and
all in the description.
thank you. And equally important, volunteer. You brought this up before. The candidates that are running that are not part of the machine, right?
Right.
Because the left is a machine. It's a super machine. It's the machine of
Oh,
all machines. So if you are not running on that line, we don't get press. They avoid us like the plague. The media ignores us.
Mhm.
We don't have the backing of political action committees or associations, things of that nature. So money is important, but volunteers are equally important. So on my webpage, you can find a link to donate, but also to volunteer. So we could use all hands on deck, even if you just have a couple of hours a day or a weekend, or um, we could use all the help we can get. And it's so important that you support the candidates that are running for real solutions and fresh leadership, not political career politicians, but real people who understand the struggle. It's really important that we get support. We need your support. We can't do it without it.
Mhm.
So
well,
I'm also on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook, Janine for Brooklyn. I'm pretty active. I'll answer you back if you DM me.
yeah, all like I said, all your links are in the description. I made
Thank
sure I kind of
you.
got thorough with that to make sure that if anybody wanted to donate, all your Instagram links, everything. I mean, I put it in there.
I
Here, you got them.
appreciate
This is where you
that.
can find there.
And it
Absolutely,
doesn't,
hundred
and
percent.
let me just point out too, if I may, it doesn't have to be, you know, some people think, oh, I don't have enough to donate. It could be $10. $10
Yeah.
can make such a huge difference. I am
True.
going through the
Well,
matching funds program. So $10 times 8, that's what your donation is really worth. And
mhm.
just to be clear, because there's also some questions about this, money that is donated for campaigns stays in a campaign fund. It is not used for personal purposes. It must be used for
It's
campaign
not
purposes
supposed to be
only.
used for.
Well, this, this
Oh,
Don't-
part this part of things is pretty transparent. We would
no,
hope.
I know you are.
Yeah.
I'm making fun, not of you. I'm making fun of what it's not supposed to be
yeah.
done with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Are you talking about the bag of chips that was all in the
Yeah,
news today? Yeah.
Yeah, oh my
yeah, yeah.
God. Yeah, that's the most recent one.
No shrimp and no chips here. You can see it.
No.
You can see where all my money goes by following the Follow the Money website.
Yeah,
Yep.
one of our followers from California, she says, put it up so you can see it. She says, I'll make sure my one Brooklyn friend knows and helps you with volunteering because I know she would.
Oh, thank
So
you so much. You're one Brooklyn friend. Two
yeah,
now. Thank you.
Rogue Nina's our ride or die. She's been with us since the beginning, so
I appreciate that so
she's pretty
much.
good. So, but Janine, we hope you come back to update us on things, just to
I
come and
sure
just talk
will.
and chop it up with
Come back.
us.
Come back when you're president.
Yeah, come
Yes,
back when
I
you're borough
will.
president for sure. We definitely and
With a better
we'll
setup. I
continue.
don't know. I'm in my basement office. I don't know how this fluorescent lighting is probably doing a
That's
number
fine.
on me, but
You're
I was
fine.
also at the feast stuffing my face. So
You're fine. But no, we hope you come back when you get elected and,
I
just come
sure will.
chop it up with us. We appreciate you taking your time. And I will reach out to Athena. We reached out to Elijah already, and got him on, and I'm gonna reach out to her too. If there's anybody else, you know where to DM me or text me, and we'll bring them on so they can get the word out.
Terrific. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate your time. Thanks for being flexible. I know I was supposed to be on at 8, but
That's all right.
this is
It's all
terrific.
good.
And I appreciate you giving people like me a place to speak and visibility and a platform. So thank you so much.
100%. We got you. We got your six, Janine.
Thank you.
Again, it was a Whip Out Friday. We appreciate it. None but love, hon. None but love.
Beba!
None but love. All right,
Thank you
Janine.
so
Have a great
much.
night. Have a great weekend, and God bless, hon.
God bless. Thank you guys so much.
Well, fam, that was Janine Acquafredda. She was fantastic. Okay. If you're watching from New York City, you're watching from Brooklyn, you gotta make sure that you help her out. She's gonna need all your help. Scott, you got anything before we start the raid and I send everybody over to Yankee Live Free?
No, I don't have anything. Just everyone have a safe weekend. And, we'll see everybody on Monday.
Right on. All right, brother. Have a good weekend, man. I'll take us
All right.
out and I'll send
You
everybody
too.
over. All right,
Alrighty.
later, man. Well, fam, that was another great show. I got to set up the raid here, so give me a second. All right, and then we are going to, what do you call it? Actually, hang on, I got to go to mine. Thank you very much. And let's go like this. I'm gonna take you guys out on a raid. Don't forget to come hang with us again on Monday. We have myself and Blondie will be with us, back with us on next Wednesday. And let me just get the HTML for them, and then we'll go over there and raid them, fam. So thank you all for tuning in and listening to Janine tonight. She needs all the support that she can get, and we're going to continue to give her that support here on this channel. We're going to continue to bring patriots, fam. It's just that's what it's all about with us, okay? Bringing these patriots in because they need to get the word out because local media is not. So without further ado, I am the Big Red One Guy signing out. And remember that together and only together can we break the machine. God bless you all. God bless America. I will see you all on Monday and let the raid begin.